Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet again an amazing Minecraft Bedrock edition video. It is your boy Silent here, and in today's video we are going to be doing part 1 of the tutorial of my universal tree farm. Now what we'll conclude in part 1 is the actual tree farm, every single mode, like oak mode, acacia mode, the on off switch, and that will be it for part 1. Now what I will say though is I will be building this farm in a specific direction, and the reason for that is the breaking of the wither, the breaking behavior from the wither, because withers do not break like even in every single direction, and I mean by that is the terracotta blocks are the blocks they break, and this is the block they stand on, so they break more in these two general directions, which is where we push most of our locks in to get it more efficient and to get less chance of actually having locks land on top of the what's it called, the bedrock block where he's standing on. Um, and don't worry about those nether stars. I reloaded my farm and there was like 3 withers in there. So don't worry about that. Now I will also be building it in pretty much the identical location within my chunks, and you don't really have to do that necessarily, but there is one problem. The entire farm does work on any location in the world, but the issue lays within this part right here and this part right here. Now, uh, hoppers and water streams, like these sorting systems, they have a lot of problems um, if you put them on a chunk border. So that is why I'll just build them in the exact same location as I have. As you can see, these are my chunk borders, and these 2 ice roads are quite like in the middle of it, so you still have a lot of like space to like move the farm a little bit forward or backwards. That is totally up to you guys, but I will be building it in the exact same location. So without further ado, let's go and start this tutorial. Alright, so first of all, what we're going to be doing is locating our chunks or our chunk borders. So we're going to place a long line of leaves like this. Doesn't have to be this long, but make sure it is pretty long, because if you don't do it long enough, you will not get it to work. You're gonna go to your settings, to video, go all the way down, and turn fancy leaves off. And we're gonna just update this leaf, and you can see that it updated to a certain point right here, which means that we have a chunk border between these 2 lines over here. Now we can remove all of this. And now we're going to do the exact same thing in the other direction. So just gonna start right over here and put a long row of leaves just like this. And now once again we're going to go to our settings, and I'm gonna quickly turn this off because that might give a lot of background noise. We're going to go to fancy leaves, turn it back on, update this, and you can see that we have another chunk border right over here. I'm gonna be using different blocks to mark this. Now I'll just take out all of these blocks. Alright, what we have is something like this. Now obviously this is like ideal that I just got lucky and got the chunks like really close to each other when I was laying them out. You could have like this chunk line right over here. Then you'll just have to connect them up till you have them intersecting each other. And then you only need these 4 blocks in the middle. And then we can start laying out our chunks. Well, I'm just gonna lay out the corners, so this will be a chunk right over there. This will be a chunk right over here. That will be a chunk. And this will be a chunk. Now, we're gonna go grab our locator map. And a dirt block. We're gonna go out to the eastern side and we're gonna take the one that's on the top right of you. So this one right over here. We're gonna count that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're gonna go in by 1, and this is already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll have a dirt block. Now in theory you don't really need the cross anymore, so if you want to remove that, feel free to do that. And as I mentioned, you can play with this a little bit. You can move it forward and backward by like a couple of blocks. That way you still don't hit any chunk borders, but I will just build it like this as I'm 100% sure that this will actually function. So I'm gonna go grab some materials and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so once again we're gonna come right here and we're gonna make sure we're still watching in the very same direction. We're gonna place a sticky piston right below our dirt block, like this. And we're gonna go to the opposite side and we're gonna have a sticky piston like this. And we're gonna go to the left side and put a block with a comparator on top of it. And right now you don't really need your map anymore because there will be no confusion on directions and all of that. So we'll have a block right there. We'll put a sticky piston down here with a block on its face. We'll have 3 blocks right here. We're gonna go down by 1, then up by 1 again. We'll have a normal piston with an obsidian block, and we place a torch on the side of that piston, and then we just use redstone dust to connect this all up. Now here at the bottom we're gonna put a sticky piston with a observer facing upwards, and that will be our detection system done. Now all we need to do to make this give this a little test run is go ahead and start placing in our droppers and dispensers. So I will just quickly get myself some scaffolding blocks here. We'll have 1, 2, 3 droppers and 1 dispenser right over here. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 droppers and 1 dispenser right over here. We can remove these scaffolding blocks. Right over here we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 droppers and a dispenser. Just like that. And we're gonna also have droppers feeding this one from below. So we got 1, 2, 3 like that. And that should be that part done. Now, no, I should not remove. No, that block can be gone. That was just a scaffolding block, I think. Now to test this, we're gonna clear our inventory and actually put bone meal in our upper dispenser right here. And we're just gonna place a normal block right there, and you can see, there we go. That does the trick. Now we're gonna start by laying out our piston layout, and I'm quickly gonna grab everything that I think we will need for this. That should be about everything. Gonna come out here on this side where we have all of these droppers. We're gonna place 2 solid blocks. By the way, I'm going to be building up this up too high, and then I'll just cut the video and build it off camera. That way I can shorten the video a little bit. So we're gonna have a single sticky piston right here. We're gonna have another. I'm gonna build this out of these blocks. Another blocks, 2 blocks on the side like that. We're gonna have 2 normal pistons out here. Now this is kind of weird because it's out of the 5x5 area, and there's a very specific and good reason for that. And that is because sapling return for acacia is pretty hard to get enough, and with this little spot it gives like an extra 2 spots for branches to spawn, leaves to spawn and to get crushed, because acacia leaves often spawn outside of your farming area, so that is the main reason. So out here we got ourselves sticky pistons like this, and we're gonna start with slime and then a layer of honey. Gonna have normal blocks in front of it. Now back here we're gonna have 1 piston with slime blocks, just like that. And we're gonna have some terracotta blocks right next to it. Over here on this side, we're gonna grab some slime blocks and actually place one sticky piston, but we're gonna leave a gap between the slimes and the sticky pistons, just like that. We're gonna have normal blocks right next to it. Then right over here we got a double piston extender, just like that, with again slime blocks on its face. And then we got um, two layers of terracotta blocks, just like that. Now here on the side, we're gonna place ourselves a sticky piston, and right over here, we're actually gonna start with with honey blocks. That way, they do not stick to these. We're actually gonna have a double piston extender right here, so make sure you put two pistons. Gonna have solid blocks right next to them, and I do need some observers. We're gonna have two observers right over here, two normal pistons, then a single sticky piston, with once again honey blocks over here because we cannot have it connect to these slime blocks. And that is it for the first layer. Now we still need some dirt, so we're gonna place dirt right over here in front of these observers. We're gonna place dirt in front of those slime blocks and dirt in front of that, and we should have something like this. Now we're gonna extend this by another 6 layers, that way it's 8 high in total. And you gotta make sure that everywhere that I place a single piston, you also leave a gap for the next piston to go. And everywhere where I started with honey, you'll continue with slime. If I started with slime, you'll continue with honey. Right over here, it's just alternating like that. So I'll build the whole thing up, and I'll fly around it after I build it up, so you guys can still check if you did everything right. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, next up we're going to be starting to wire up all of the piston extenders. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and place two glass blocks like this. I'm going to place two 1-ticked delay repeaters in front of them, place a block in front, and then we're going to have a glass staircase going up like this. Actually, you can stop right over there. We're going to put redstone dust on all of these blocks. And now we're going to put observers every glass block facing the inside of the farm, and we're actually going to have one more on top right here, just like that. Now we'll have a row of slime blocks attaching all of these these observers, and we'll have a sticky piston right below it. We're gonna place a block next to that sticky piston, a block down here, and a redstone dust, and that should be this double piston extender done. Now we're quickly going to test it, so we're just gonna place a block, and as you can see, it did not 100% work. I must have missed something. Let me quickly go back and check, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, turns out that I forgot to replace one block. This one right here has to be an immovable block with by slime. So this one has to change to a terracotta block, and then we need a new comparator on that block. And that should now work. Like that, if we now place a block. As you can see, it did fully retract. And now it does actually do what it's supposed to do. So let's continue with this double piston extender here on the back side. Now we're gonna place a row of observers going all the way up back here, and not like that. They have to be facing these terracotta blocks. We're gonna start at the bottom with two solid blocks, and then we're gonna have a dropper every other block. Now in front of those droppers we're gonna have some more solid blocks, so like this. Now we're gonna put rail on pretty much all of them, except from the one on top. At the bottom we're gonna start with a glass staircase like this. Just like that. And we're gonna put solid blocks every other block, starting from the bottom piston, going up like this. Now we're gonna put redstone dust on all of these blocks, just like that, and we're also going to be filling in this spot with just some solid blocks, like that. Now down here we're gonna have one extra block, redstone dust, a solid block down here, and this will be where we take the input for this double piston extender. Now once again, if you do want to test this out, what you can do is go grab a button. Doesn't really matter. Uh, I'll just put it right there, press the button, and as you can see it did double extend. Now it did it quite slowly, um, but don't worry about that. That is because the button pulse is obviously way longer than the pulse from the farm that it will get. So with that being said, let's continue here over on this side. Now we're gonna go grab some normal pistons, go down at the bottom and start placing normal pistons facing up like this. We're gonna connect these two pistons up with some solid blocks. Then we'll have a glass staircase in the back here. Now first we're gonna be placing these blocks. I already put redstone dust on top of them. And then we'll place these blocks and put redstone dust on top of them. And then also put redstone dust on all of these solid blocks, just like this. Now here we're gonna add another row of terracotta blocks, and we're going to add an observer every other block over here. So observer, a gap, observer gap of air, observer gap of air, and just like this. We're gonna do the exact same thing as over here. So attach it with slime blocks on the side. Add a sticky piston right below it, and add 2 more blocks here at the bottom. There we go, that should do the trick. Now we're gonna go over to this one over here where we have a space between the slimes and the pistons, and we're gonna place glass blocks just like this on the side and put redstone dust on top of them, including the pistons. Right over here we're gonna do the same thing, so we're gonna have a glass staircase going just like this. I'm gonna place redstone dust on all of these, and we're gonna connect this up with some solid blocks to these pistons. Put redstone dust on all of these. There we go, and that should be this part completely finished. Now all that's left is these last couple pistons, and right here we're actually gonna staircase out from the back of the pistons like this, and also just put redstone dust on all of these pistons. There we go. Now what I will go ahead and do is fill in the rest of the corner blocks just like this, to make sure that there is not gonna be like any saplings flying through. Just gonna check if I've done every corner, and it looks like it. So we're going to go to the bottom section right now and start wiring the actual pistons to the detection system. So we're going to need sticky pistons, redstone repeaters, dust, and some solid blocks for that. Gonna start off here at our detection system. We're gonna connect this one first. We're gonna go down like this. We're gonna have a repeater set to 1 tick delay, and just connect that up with a redstone line like that. We're gonna go down by a block and then add another 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna put redstone dust on all of these. Now back here we're gonna have a block with a sticky piston with a block in front of it. We're gonna have a block going up like this with redstone dust on it. Now right here we're gonna have a repeater, a block like that, and another repeater and redstone dust going up like this. And then we just got to connect this one up as well. So we're going to go up and over into a solid block, redstone dust, 1 tick delayed repeater, and a redstone dust like that. Now this part of the farm should entirely be hooked up. Now we all only need to do this side right over here. Now right over here we're going to place a sticky piston, and we're actually going to need a redstone block. Gonna put a redstone block right there. Down here we're gonna continue with 2 blocks in this direction, 1 over here, and a block up right next to the obsidian. We're gonna have a 1 tick delayed repeater, 2 redstone dust, a sticky piston with a block on its face, and this will once again cut off the signal to make it a short signal. And then we're gonna place 2 solid blocks like that with redstone dust on top of them, which now should entirely activate this part. Now all what's left to do is this side of the farm. Now we will change something down here, and that is this glass block. We'll change it into a piston with once again a block on its face. We're gonna have redstone running up like this. And actually, we're gonna lower this down by another redstone dust like this. And like that. That is how it was. And we can remove this block down here. That should be everything important wired up right now. So if we now place a block, we should see the whole farm activating. There we go. Let's move on to our hoppers that we'll have at the bottom, and our system that will activate our droppers and dispensers. Alright, so we're here inside of the farm. We're gonna go down here and place a scaffolding block right over there. Now we need an observer, and I don't really see one. Just gonna grab one over here. We're gonna place an observer right next to that bottom block. Gonna take that block out again, put a solid block in front of it, grab a dropper and place it right over here. Now we will have to change some more blocks, so we will change this block into 2 hoppers going like that. We'll replace the comparator like this. Now we'll just fill in this spot with our hoppers. And we'll also need to take out this glass block right here and reroute the hoppers through the back like this, and also then place your repeater back just like this. Now to reach the back side over here with the hoppers, we're gonna have to run this line all the way around, because I have no other way of reaching it. You think I could do it right here, but we really can't, because the locks will be pushed out, the bottom lock will be pushed out, so we kind of have to loop it around a little bit. Now this will be our entrance right here, so what we're gonna do is remove that block, and we'll put a fence gate here later on. So we're gonna have hoppers going around like this. Make sure you do not place one right over there, because that will break. Because this piston obviously extends, so it will just move your hopper. And then we're just gonna go right along the edge like this. Now I will put some scaffolding and put one more right over here. Now we can go back inside of the farm and also place one right there. And now we can connect from back there. Something like this. And we will be adding some extra hoppers in the back later on, once we start getting our power lines in. Now at the bottom, I'm going to first of all put myself a couple of like lanes of blocks for me to stand on, because I'm on controller and I can't really crouch while flying, I think, at least as far as I know. So I'm gonna put some scaffolding blocks so I can actually stand on some. While by 7 hoppers for now. We will probably have to extend it a little bit further, but for now 7 will do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna come out with this one right over here, and we're just gonna do the same thing all the way back here. Alright, for this one it's a little bit different, because we need space for our little detection system to see if there's still enough bone meal within the system. So we're gonna have to make a little loop around this part. So we're gonna go around like this. and then just connect it up like that. Now we can remove all of the scaffolding blocks. Just like that, and now we can start giving power to all of our systems. So we're gonna have a block there, there, right there, and right there. We're gonna have a repeater, a redstone dust, and that was definitely not my intention. So replace that. I'm going right here. We're gonna have another repeater right there, right here, and right over there. We'll put redstone dust like this. We're also gonna need some repeaters up here. So we're gonna place one right there, right over here, and right over there on that end. That means we're also gonna need some extra hoppers here in the back to connect all of this redstone up. Like this. Now we're gonna put a block right over here, redstone dust, and then run this all the way back. I'm going to have to enter the farm from over here. Connect all of this redstone dust like this, and then we should be good to go on that part. Now we still need to power the bottom droppers and this observer, so we're gonna go down over here on this side like this. We're gonna place 2 blocks right below these droppers. We're gonna have one right over here with a um, repeater going into it. We're gonna have one right over here with a repeater. Put redstone dust, put redstone dust. Gonna go down here with a block just like this. We're gonna have another repeater and a redstone dust right over there. Now we just gotta connect this all up to the same wire, so we're gonna just do that like this. There we go. Right down here we're actually going to be lowering these 3 blocks like this. We're actually gonna have an extra repeater right over here just like that. Now we're gonna change that repeater to right over there actually. The reason we have like 2 repeaters here is just because of the signal strength coming from the comparator clock that will not reach all the way. So we're gonna have a block right over here with a comparator on top of it. Now we'll have a sticky piston. I'll just place a scaffolding block right there, a sticky piston like that. We're gonna place a cauldron and obviously fill that with water. Here we're gonna have a comparator just like this with a block in front of it with a repeater and a block up with a redstone torch over on this side. Now this will also power this line, which is not really an issue, but if you don't, I really do not like that. So what I'm gonna do is reroute this line like this so that it doesn't interfere with each other. Just like that. Now I'm gonna go grab a glass block. We're gonna go right here with a glass block, then a 4x4, a 2x2 of just solid blocks. Place your comparator on subtraction mode and put redstone dust all over like that. Now we're gonna have a redstone block right over here and a sticky piston that will power it. Now if you want to go ahead and test if everything works, just turn it on, and if you see all your repeaters flickering, that means you've done it correctly. So that is what happened here. So we're pretty much done for today's tutorial. Now what I will be doing is just some like minor details, like at the bottom right here we're gonna be filling up some of these spots with blocks. So we're gonna have blocks right here, right over there, 2 blocks right over here. I do not really have anything to base off. I'm gonna just remove that block. I don't know if it has to be there or not, but just for safety, I'll remove it. Just like this. Just filling all the bottom blocks so that way it doesn't look as open. Gonna have 2 blocks right over here as well. A block right over here. Gonna go around the back and place a row of blocks just like this. Now if you enter the farm, it doesn't look as open. Oh, we're not actually done for today's part. What am I saying? Not even close. Uh, but we'll also add a sea lantern right over here. That way we have some light with inside of the farm. We're gonna go grab some buttons as well. I'm gonna place buttons on all of these, all of the hoppers basically. That way that sometimes acacia trees grow really low and then the Alright, sometimes acacia trees grow really low and then they kind of just spawn, the leaves kind of just spawn all over the hoppers and also on the place where your head is when you're placing saplings, and then you can't replant, and the saplings that will drop down will just lay on the leaves and not be collected, so that is a problem. So this kind of prevents that. We're also going to go grab a fence gate and put that right over here. Open it up, and this will be our entrance and exit out of the farm. Alright, so out here we're going to be starting to kind of decorate one of the parts and also put in our levers. So we're going to have 2 blocks like this and then 3 blocks like that. Now back here we're going to have, now obviously all of these blocks are blocks of choice, so I'm just building this in these colors. But you can use whatever you want. So we're gonna have something like this, and our 3 levers right over here. This will be on, off, oak, and acacia mode. We will be putting a little floor over here to make it a little bit easier to walk. Just like that. Um, and now we will do the back side over here. Now below the first one, we're gonna have a piston with a redstone block. We're gonna take an output right over here. There's gonna be a block in front of it with a sticky piston like this. This will control the safety switches, so if one of the systems has a problem, not enough boxes or not enough bone meal, it will extend this piston, which will disable our comparator clock. And now we're just gonna run this redstone over to our piston like this. And actually we're gonna run it down like that, because otherwise it'd be in the way for the other parts right over here. So that is that. Now we can go ahead and test that out. And we did forget a repeater right over here. There we go. We can also change that into a block. There we go. That is the first switch done. Alright, now for occasion mode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a block down here with redstone dust on top of it. Gonna have a sticky piston facing downwards with a cauldron. Obviously we're gonna fill that one with water. We're gonna have take an output down here with a comparator like this, and that will power this redstone line here at the bottom. We're gonna put redstone dust on that. Now out here we need a redstone block with a sticky piston right below it. Then a terracotta block right next to it. And this is what will be powering our system. So just for now, I will actually turn this one on and grab myself a redstone torch as well. Put a redstone torch right there on the end. Grab ourselves some slime blocks. And put a redstone block right over there. And now just simply connect all of this up. Have a sticky piston right over there. Just like that. And now we have acacia mode on because this line is getting powered, and then when we don't want acacia, we don't want this line to get powered, so we cut off the signal, and that is that. So now let's continue with oak mode. Now for oak mode, we're gonna first of all place some more sticky pistons. So we're gonna go down here, place a sticky piston facing downward like that, and a sticky piston facing downwards like that. And now the rest we're gonna be filling in with terracotta blocks, except from that one right there. All the way around, and also except from that one right over there. Now we will be grabbing some extra blocks here. Now on the roof, we're gonna start with all the corners with an sea lantern. That way we still have some light within the farm. Gonna have some normal blocks around the outside, and actually these are my redstone blocks. These are the building blocks I'm using. Now if you look from this direction of the farm, we're gonna go right over here and actually take out the block and then just go around like this. And we'll have a normal piston facing downwards right there. We're gonna start off on this side again. We're gonna place a terracotta block right over here and two glass blocks like this. Then we can have a solid block right over here, and I'm building with the wrong blocks here. A solid block right over there, a glass block, and then we're gonna go up like this, just like that. We're gonna have a 4-tick delay repeater up on that one, a 2-tick delayed repeater down here. I'm gonna run redstone all the way like this, and on all of these blocks like that. Now here on the side, we are going to have 3 blocks like this, and a block in front, and right below we're gonna have 2 4-ticks and a 3-tick delay repeater like this. Now down here we're also gonna have a redstone torch, which I currently do not have in my inventory. We'll have a redstone torch right over there as well. We'll also have a repeater coming out of that torch, a repeater right there which will be locked, and then 3 redstone dust here connecting up to that repeater right over there. Then we'll have a redstone dust, a terracotta block, and a sticky piston, which again I just do not have. A sticky piston right over here. And we'll also have a terracotta block with a redstone torch on this side, just like that. And I'm pretty sure that that concludes most of the redstone. Now there's some small things we need to do. That is right over here. We need a repeater set to 2 ticks. And right up here we need a repeater set to 4 ticks. Then we can go ahead and grab ourselves some slime blocks, some sticky pistons, and some honey blocks. We'll start by placing 2 sticky pistons facing downwards right up here. We're gonna place 2 slime blocks, and we're gonna start by putting slime blocks right next to this piston and connecting them up to right up here. And then we're gonna have a sticky piston right up there with a honey block with a redstone block, and this should be our oak mode. So now if we just quickly grab ourselves a lever, then it looks like I have definitely missed out on something. So let me quickly check, and I'll be right back with you guys. Oh. Right, turns out we just missed a redstone dust right up there. As you can see now, if we go inside of the farm, it did fully extend. And now let's retract. And that did fully retract. Now we still need power to this piston right here, which we're gonna do by a redstone torch right over there. We're gonna also put a torch here and put a redstone dust on top of that piston. So now when we flick our lever, these also get pulled up, which means they're no longer going to be activated, which is exactly what we want. Now for our oak mode to work, we're going to have a block right there, a block right here, put a redstone dust, a sticky piston right over here. Now we're just going to connect this all up with slime blocks, just like that. We're going to get up like this, and now once we actually flick our oak switch, we should see that everything happens the way it should happen. Alright, that will conclude everything for today's part of the tutorial. The farm on its own is now operational. Um, you know, obviously we still need to add the wither cages and all of that, which will go into the next part. But if you did make it to this part of the video, and you will be continuing to build with the wither cages and all of that, be sure to let me know as well. I'd really appreciate that. I hope you guys do enjoy today's video. If you do, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. It is your boy Silent, and I'm out. Peace.